Hello and welcome to my FanTeam Weekly Monster Tournament video. I'm going to talk you through Game Week 35 and we have a lot of lost ground to make up for after the Game Week 34 cancellation due to the riots and protests at Old Trafford during the United versus Liverpool game. Thanks very much to FanTeam for that, by the way. I had 2 tickets in the £18 tournament and also a £1.80 ticket, and I was right at the back in all 3. I was having a nightmare game week, so yeah. Thanks very much to the protesters, and also thanks very much to FanTeam for giving us our money back. So, yeah, I can buy a few tickets for this one and hopefully do slightly better. We got 8 fixtures this game week, starting off with Sheffield United Palace. We got City versus Chelsea, Liverpool Southampton, Wolves Brighton, Villa versus United, West Ham versus Everton, Arsenal versus West Brom, and Fulham Burnley. I think there's some really solid defences there that we can exploit, and I'm going to talk you through my favourite top 5 picks of the game week. Let's get started. First up, I'm going to go for the man that is going to be my captain in game week 35. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's priced at 10.4 and he's playing an out of sorts Southampton side at home. I think it's a really good matchup for him. Obviously, it's been a difficult season for Trent. He was recently snubbed in the England squad for the likes of Reece James, Kieran Trippier and Kyle Walker, but he has come into form slightly in recent games. In the month of April, he played 4 games and Liverpool were the best defence in the league in that time, only conceding 3 goals. Trent scored a 90th minute winner against Villa and he also assisted versus Leeds and Arsenal. So defensively it's looking good and also attacking returns are coming. So I think it's a really solid pick for this game week. As I say, he's playing a Southampton side who, without talisman Danny Ings, are looking pretty poor, especially in 2021 where they've only picked up 11 points, which is worse than the likes of Sheffield United, Fulham, West Brom. That they really have been poor so far this season. The other thing that I like about Trent this game week is that he's likely to be matched up against Mohamed Salisu, who is going to be playing left back with Ryan Bertrand out injured. So I think that's going to be a real mismatch given that Salisu is obviously a centre half with not quite so much pace. I think Trent can really exploit that and hopefully get a lot of balls into the box. And, you know, maybe if Liverpool are having a good day, he can get a couple of assists. Next up, I'm going to be slightly biased with the pick of West Ham frontman Michail Antonio, who's had an absolutely amazing season. And I think if he'd been fit for the whole year, we probably would have already guaranteed ourselves a top 4 spot, which is a real shame. He truly is our talisman, and when he's on the pitch, we just function so much better. We truly need that front man that's going to be in there, as we saw in a fantastic display against Burnley on Monday night. When we whip balls in, he is such a danger. That first goal, the header, he got above the Burnley defence, bullet header past Nick Pope, great goal, and the second one, little tap in at the back post, fantastic. He's the only man in our team that can make those runs and get into those spaces, and that's shown in his underlying statistics. He has an expected goal involvement per 90 of 1.04, which far exceeds that of Kelechi Iheanacho, who's in second place. He has 0.89. So Antonio is having a really good season, and his stats match that of any player in the league. In 2021, he has 6 goals, 5 assists. So, you know, the underlying stats are there, but he is also converting them, which is great. And he plays for a West Ham side that are very good attacking wise. I don't know how this has happened with the players that we've got, and we're managed by David Moyes, but we're scoring goals for fun. We've got the 4th highest XG in the league in 2021, and we're only just behind the likes of Man United and Chelsea. I think priced at 10 million, he's a real bargain for me in game week 35, and he'll definitely be in my side. Next up, I'm going slightly less biased with the pick of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's away at West Ham this game week, and FanTeam have priced him at 9.6 million. I think it's good value, to be honest, in a game that I expect to be a little bit of a mismatch. West Ham really struggled to deal with the cross. In our last 6 games, we've conceded 12 goals and 8 of them have come from crosses into the box. And you look at the way Dominic Calvert-Lewin has played this season. He's incredible in the air, wins a lot of headers, and also he's very intelligent, seems to get himself into the right places at the right time. So if quality from the likes of Luca Dean, James Rodriguez and Sigurdsson get great crosses into the box, annoyingly, I expect Calvert-Lewin to get some returns this game week, and you know he needs to start hitting form. If Harry Kane's as unreliable as he has been in recent seasons and gets an injury or struggles with fitness, Calvert-Lewin may have to play some games in the Euros, may have to lead the line for England. So He does need to hit one of those purple patches that we have seen from him before. We saw one just before lockdown last year, and we saw one at the start of this season. We know that Calvert-Lewin can go on these crazy runs where he scores a lot of goals, and he's got the third highest XG in the league this season. So over the course of the year, he may have done it in patches, but he does score goals, and the underlying stats are there. And for me, against a pretty poor West Ham defence, I expect goals from Calvert-Lewin this game week. Next up, I'm going for Crystal Palace main man Wilfried Zaha. FanTeam have priced him at 9.4 million, which is pretty bloody steep, if I'm honest, for a Crystal Palace asset. But this pick is more about the opponent than anything else. Sheffield United have been so poor this season. So bad, in fact, that I genuinely forgot who their manager was right now. I had to go and Google it before I started this video. It's Paul Heckingbottom, by the way, who, since coming in, they haven't really shown any signs of turning anything around, or they've been pretty poor, haven't they? The main reason I'm going for Zaha is he's Palace's talisman, playing a poor team. He scored 10 goals, assisted 2 this season. Been involved in 38% of Crystal Palace's goals, so pretty solid, to be honest. And when he's not playing, Palace are poor. They've only won 1 in 9 games where Zaha hasn't started, and that was the freak result away at Brighton, where Brighton's XG was something like 17.62 and Palace's was 0.04. They managed to somehow win it in the 93rd minute with a Benteke volley. Insane game of football. And the other thing I like about Zaha towards the end of any season is the fact that we know he's looking for a move away. So he needs to improve his form to try and get one of those moves to a big club in Europe. And it's a difficult position for him and Palace to be in. 2 years left on his contract. He wants out, and Palace want to make a bit of money. So I think if it's ever going to happen, it has to be this summer. So he needs to pick up his form, and against a team like Sheffield United, if he were to get a few returns and put himself back in the transfer window market, you know, if there's ever a game for it, it's against Sheffield United. At the start of the video, I alluded to some defences that I thought we could exploit, and my final pick is going to be Lewis Dunk of Brighton. For me, I think I'm likely to go into game week 35 with probably 3 Brighton defensive assets. I really like this matchup for them. They've been very good defensively of late, and they've only conceded 6 goals in the last 8 games, which puts them as the 3rd best defence in the league. Wolves have only scored 6 in 8, and that puts them as the 4th worst attack in the league, behind only the likes of Palace, Fulham, and also Sheffield United. Lewis Dunk also very good at the opposite end of the pitch, a real threat from corners. Sometimes takes direct free kicks as well, which is an added bonus. He's actually Brighton's 3rd highest goal scorer this season with 4 goals. So I think the clean sheet's very likely. He could also get you a goal. There's not much not to like at 7.3 million. I think it's a real bargain. I think they've massively underpriced him this week. And that is that for my Game Week 35 top 5 picks. Once again, if you have any advice for me, any help, I greatly appreciate it. As I said, I didn't have a great Game Week 34, so any tips are more than welcome. For me, it's definitely going to be about those Liverpool assets, Brighton assets. They're looking very good going into Game Week 35. And make sure to check out the FanTeam Focus website. We've got some great content over there on the likes of NBA, F1, CSGO, other football stuff from some really big content creators. So yeah, go and have a look. Articles, videos, the lot. It's all there. And look forward to talking to you about Game Week 36 next week. In a bit.